This is a Bambu Lab A1 3D printer, and today we're going to show you guys the best upgrades that you can get for it.
Printers produce a lot of poop. More. And then they also have supports. Printers produce a lot of waste, and there's kind of not a way around this. And the solutions I have for this are a poop chute. It's a little basket that stores all of the poop, or the purges is what they're formerly known as, from the printer. And on top of that, I have deflectors that on my printer that work so that when the purges are shot out, they hit that and they drop in the basket, because if not, they just fly off. So this is the purge bin I use. It's made by OE3D, which his link will be in description. And then on top of that, I have deflectors that I've made that are like sports themed.
So the next upgrade we recommend you get is right here. And it's a very simple tool organizer for your 3D printer tools. Over time, after you start 3D printing, you're gonna start getting a lot of tools. Like you get a caliper, you get these tools that we're gonna mention later in the video, and then you don't really know where to store them. You just leave them out in the open, maybe on a table or like in a random place that you might lose and forget where they're at. That's why it's so helpful to print out one of these toolbox organizers. You simply just put it right next to your printer and just keep putting your tools in there as you acquire more and more tools. And then it's just super convenient because whenever you need them, they're right here. And then you just grab it, use it, and put it back. The one that we used here is a model on Makerworld by Kelly Trinth. We'll leave it in the description.
Another product you should consider for your 3D printer is one of these scrapers. It's actually designed by Bambu Lab themselves, and I think it's really good because it allows you to use the razor blade they provide for you in a very safe way. And it helps you keep your bed for your printer clean, which is super important for materials like PLA and PETG, but also for future materials you might use like TPU and carbon fiber, which you need to keep your bed very clean every time you print with them.
Now the next upgrade that you guys should get are 3D printer specific tools. For this, I've chosen 3 that I think are very helpful. The first one is this filament measurement. You basically put it right here on the filament spool, and it tells you exactly how much you have left. So here on this white spool, I have approximately 400 grams of filament left. Trust me, when you want to do one of these big projects and you don't know if you have enough filament left for it, this truly helps, because sometimes if you have too little filament, you could waste a bunch of unnecessary filament trying to print out something that you never had filament for. The creator of this tool is Linus on Makerworld, and we're going to leave the link to this download in the description. Now the next tool we recommend is this simple nozzle removal tool. Basically, you stick it under here and you would just lift it up and pull the entire nozzle case off, and then you would use these little tweezers to pull the entire nozzle out. And this tool actually helps a lot because you will be changing your nozzles a lot more often than you actually think. And this just makes the process a lot simpler and less risky, because a lot of times when you pull off this, some people actually end up breaking it. Now the creator of this tool is called G3DS, and we're going to leave the link to this tool in the description. Now the next tool that I've chosen is an actual multi-tool. Basically, it has 2 purposes. One is to apply grease on either the Z or X axis or the Y axis. And that's what these 3 knobs here are for. Now this last one on the top is a very helpful one, especially if you have an AMS light. It's a PTFE tube removal helper. Basically, you just stick it onto the PTF tube, you'd push down and remove the tube if you needed to. The creator of this tool is called Slim Racers Home, and we're going to leave the link to this download in the description.
Another item I recommend you get when you first get your 3D printer is this filament swatch holder. When you're making and you're assembling your 3D printer, you're going to see that you get a little box with all the colors of filaments you could get. And it's pretty cool, but I kind of hate the string it's on, and it's really just annoying to use. So this item, made by Brad FTBT3, is actually really useful because it just allows you to see all the colors in one place, and you could spin it around to see. Something I'd recommend doing is, when you're printing it, select a print profile that is a little bigger, because as you saw in the video, some of the pieces would get stuck sometimes. So If you select a print profile that is already made, that is proved to work, and it's a little bigger, you'll get a better result than me.
Now the final upgrade, we didn't actually print out, but for those of you guys who are very creative and like time-lapse footages and using your cameras on your 3D printers or would be interested in that, we found a print that you could actually attach right here and attach a GoPro to it or any camera you have right to it, so you could actually film time lapses a lot more effectively. Because to be quite honest, the camera on the A1 does need some work and it's not really the best. The creator of that tripod attachment is called Ted, and we're gonna leave the link to the download in the description.
Although all these prints are super cool, one thing we'd like for you to remember is that 3D printing is an individual journey, and you don't want to just get all caught up in printing other people's items. You need to try and focus on what you develop and try to get good at it, because it'll be a lot more useful in the long run.
Thank you for watching until this part of the video. If you're still watching until now, then we hope we brought you some value or at least entertainment. And if we did, we would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. I also recommend that you watch last week's video where me and Pablo tried cutting a steak with a 3D printed knife. We hope to see you guys next week.